This is how to reduce anxiety. I find that a very healthy perspective that you can try to have on your anxieties, and if you have social anxiety, is a positive one. It's like something that I didn't do or have while I had it at the beginning, and I think that it would have helped me. So, what you can think is that you have an emotional guidance system. So, this is like maybe the more, let's say, not so esoteric perspective. And your emotional guidance system actually reacts in a certain way, in a negative way, when you kind of think that you're going to die. So when you were a child and you were raised by your parents and you were having those experiences, you interpreted some experiences as equal to a risk of dying. So, for example, if your parents were shouting on you the first times, then when you were a child, it was almost the same as dying because you were scared that your parents would reject you, would abandon you. And when you're a child, if you're abandoned, you starve and you die. So, I mean, that's what you think, and I don't know, maybe that's what happens also. So, your brain just like made this assumption, and while you had those experiences over and over and over, you interpreted those experiences the same time every time, and finally it got into your subconscious mind. And now when you still have the same experiences as when you were a child, you actually react as if you would really be scary, that like you would really fear to die. This is the scary thing. And so your emotional guidance system actually, it's like you feel negative emotions because you just fear that you're going to die. Well, that's it. That's a little bit the scientific perspective that you can have on it. So it can so actually now when you have the same experiences, even though you know that it's completely irrational to be fearful. For example, you're fearful for an interview, but why? You're not going to die, they're not going to eat you. You still have your house, you still have your family, you still have something to eat, so why the fuck are you scared? And you would be a lot better off if you weren't scared, because you would be like relaxed and you would have way better results. And the reason why is it's not because even if you're conscious that the fear is irrational, it's still in your subconscious mind. So what you can, so this is the first perspective. The second is a more esoterical one, and what you can think is like that you have a higher self or a soul, and every time you think something that's not true, that's not aligned with the like universe, the universal laws of abundance, of happiness, of energy, then you feel bad. So it's like your soul sending you a message and telling you you're thinking something that's not true right now. So when you're having anxiety and when you feel really bad, it's actually because your mind is making assumptions and having thoughts that are completely twisted and that don't reflect how the world works at all. So it's like it's actually showing you how twisted you are. And so what you can try to do with those two perspectives is to try to experience life through them and see your anxiety through those lenses. So either a scientific one or the more esoterical one, depending on what you believe in, what you like. And so what you can try to do, what I think is important, is when you're having this anxiety, when you're feeling this feeling, it is to acknowledge how it actually serves you or has served you for a very long time, and how it is there to protect you, and that it's nothing inherently bad what you're feeling. And this must be incredibly hard to do for people who really like have deep anxiety. I mean, back in the days when I was 15 or 16 years old, if I had heard that, well, maybe it would have helped me, but maybe I would have said fuck off. It's so hard. It's not positive at all. So go away. I will never do that. But if you want, you can try it out. Try to see that actually when you feel something bad in you, when you really feel the fear when it arises, try to see that it is there to protect you. So try to not resist it and try to make it go away, but see it as something that is there to help you, and observe it and give it even love if you can. And I've uh, I've actually tried to do this yesterday. So I was at a meetup where you have to look at people in the eyes for 15 minutes. So you just sit down in front of someone, you look at in his eyes for 15 minutes, and I was very scared. And so as the emotion like was there and it was terrible, I felt myself being a little bit shaky, and it was a beautiful woman in front of me. So I didn't want her to see that, but I was like, okay, this feeling is there to actually show me that my mind is still seeking for the validation of this woman. For my mind still wants to please that person. And I was like, this is fucked up. Why the hell should I try to be acknowledged and validated by others? I now know that this is not something I'm looking for. But still, like, in the background, my mind is running this program subconsciously because it believes that that's what I need in order to be happy or in order to live. And so I felt this feeling, I observed it, and I loved it because I knew, wow, man, it is showing me how fucked up I am. Because if I didn't have this, I would truly believe, I would keep all those beliefs that are just not true at all. So that's what you can try to do as an exercise. I don't really know, like, in what contents. Maybe you can try to do it as a meditation. Like, you imagine a scene that you're really scared of, and you see that you have beliefs that are not true because you feel this emotion, and you try to observe it and give it love, and try to like really know that you're actually lucky to feel this, because if you didn't, you would be fucked. You would be stuck in a reality and you wouldn't understand how it works, and you would be in that loop and never go out of it. So you can try this out.